happen to be low in sugar. Don't try to force yourself by eating cookies with no sugar. They don't taste good. Eat foods that naturally don't have sugar and taste good like that. As an example, nuts, which are my favorite food of all. Because nuts are going to become trees, right? They have all the nutrients of the planet, but they don't naturally have sugar in them. So you get value, nutrition. Your brain is happy, but you don't have a lot of sugar.
Nuts, they are not helping you to gain some weight.
Oh, Andrea, people always think that. They think that nuts make you fat because they have fat in them. They don't. Every study ever done, I love the surprise, every study ever done has shown people who eat nuts lose weight. People who don't eat nuts gain weight. Again, why is this?
It's amazing.
But it's so true. Please check this.
Every nutritionist told us that nuts has many calories.
Yes. They have calories.
Yes.
But they have so many nutrients, the body stops eating. All I eat are nuts. I have this whole room is full of nuts. I'll show them to you. In my pocket, I never travel without nuts in my pocket. Another good example is to replace sugar with cinnamon.
Oh,
Cinnamon is something that stimulates the liver and its ability to use sugar more intelligently. So instead of putting sugar in your coffee, add cinnamon to your coffee. What I tell people is first thing in the morning, when you first get up, don't have coffee. And I like coffee, and coffee is good for you, but the cream and sugar aren't. And most people in the morning don't have to have coffee when they first get up. They can delay for an hour or two. So have water with lemon juice. Which is better for you, skim milk or fat milk?
Fat milk.
Yes, why is it better?
Goat milk.
Yes.
Real milk.
Because it's good.
Yes,
It's good.
and it has real nutrients. And your body gets the fat and says, okay, you gave me some fat, I don't need any more fat. So no more fat, you're done, I'm gonna stop eating. Whereas if you have skim milk, if you take the fat out of milk, what's left? Sugar. And then you're just having sugar milk. You don't want that.
Dr. Rose, you helped your daughter to lose 13 kilos. How it was possible that your own daughter was overweight when she was a teenager?
Like a lot of young women, my daughter was not careful about what she was putting in her body. And then when she would get stressed, she'd have a pizza or she'd have anything, snacks, right? Something to keep going because it would allow her just to tolerate life. And then she realized she didn't like the way she felt. And we always fed her the right foods. She just would go and get other foods in addition. And so my job as a father and as a doctor was to make sure that she appreciated healthy food, that she liked the taste on her tongue. So when she went to college, she would eat only the food that she knew she loved as a child. And just by cutting out the junk food, she lost all the weight. Most parents get frustrated. They think their kids don't like healthy food. But the reality is, your kids have to be exposed to a healthy food about a dozen times, about 12 times, before their taste buds adjust. Children have many more taste buds than adults. And their taste buds die as they get older. So our taste buds become a little less sensitive. That's why sugar is very easy for a child, but bitter foods, vegetables, it's too strong for them.
But is it true that we are not losing weight, we are gaining weight because of the stress? All day long we are stressed, but we are eating, I don't know, very good and very healthy food, but we are very stressed and we are not losing weight.
When I see someone with a big stomach, I know they're stressed. I went to the yesterday. I saw all the beer there and lots of beer bellies with it. But I was impressed that, if you're having a good time, you have a little bit of beer. And I was joking with the crowd that the way to know what your belly size is, the right healthy belly, it should be your height divided by 2. So how tall are you?
164.
Okay, I'm there. So 164 divided by 2 is 82. So if your waist size is less than 82,
I'm perfect.
You're way below. But here's the thing, men, like Mandelina and I, after the age of 40, we never buy a new belt size. Instead, we take our belt, we put it down like this. You have a very small belt, very big belly.
Do you ever eat junk food?
Yes, but I only have junk food that brings me so much glee, so much joy.
Which kind?
So I love chocolate-covered nuts. They're so good. And that mixture of sweet and salt.
That's perfect.
Oh, it's the best.
So you can eat chocolate without gaining weight? The chocolate without sugar?
Yes, black chocolate.
Black?
Dark chocolate.
Dark.
The interesting thing about chocolate, people think chocolate is milk chocolate. But milk chocolate, it can be 10% chocolate. It's 90% milk fats, coloring, sugar. Real chocolate is a little bitter. So you can have a little sugar added just to make it better, but you won't eat much. Because after a little bit, it's so much caffeine and so little sugar that it strikes you, it feels like you should stop. It's not pulling you in for more. And the other thing I do is water. It's my weapon. Because whenever I drink something that's sweet, I drink just to wash the taste out. When the taste is out of your mouth, you forget about it. Remember, when you eat something sweet, the most important thing is the first bite. The first bite tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
All your cravings, your desire, that's gone. Then the second bite is half as good as the first. Third bite is just a little bit good. After that, it's hedonism. It's, you don't decadence. You don't need it. And then put something in your mouth that doesn't go with sweet. For example, wine. I always order my wine in the middle of dinner, not in the beginning. Because in the beginning, if you have alcohol, you get a little bit drunk. Not drunk, but
Dizzy.
yeah, but dizzy, but less inhibition. So you eat everything.
I presume your kids eat junk time to time.
Oh yes, so we have the usual battle with kids. My kids are not perfect. I love them dearly, the way they're made.
I understand your wife doesn't, but
My wife is no, she eats junk food too. We talk about yes, but not but the family likes to have fun. They're chef. My wife is a chef. My daughter is a chef. So they like making food, and it's not junk food but it's sweet food sometimes. Too heavy for me. But they'll make it a little bit. They eat it for the celebration. That's the 1-2 nights a week. The other days of the week that we eat normal food. And that's why, like most things in life, you want to be doing it right 80% of the time. And 20% of the time, it's okay.
this is an issue which is very interesting for me because I have high blood pressure time to time, even now. And I want to ask you, which is the ideal blood pressure?
So the blood pressure limit for medications is 140 over 90, 14 over 9. It's,
14 with 9?
Yeah, that's the number that we treat with medications because we know that longevity, your life expectancy goes down a lot. Number one cause of aging, number one cause is high blood pressure. I'll explain in a second why.
So 14 with 9 is
a cutoff.
That's wrong.
Above that, you have medications. However, the average blood pressure, is maybe 13 over 8, right? 13 over 8.5. The problem with that is that the average person dies of heart disease. You don't want to be average. You want to be optimal. You want to be perfect. The perfect blood pressure is more like 11 over 7, maybe 12 over 8. That's what you want to be. Now, why is that important? Look at this wall here. If I punch a hole in this wall, I have to fix it. How do I fix a hole in the wall? I fix it by putting plaster, right? It's plaster. So if I have high quality plaster, healthy HDL cholesterol, because the body's plaster is cholesterol, that's what it does. You fix this is perfect. However, if I have lousy LDL cholesterol, it starts to chip out and fall out and crack. And when that happens, the body will form inflammation and cause a heart attack. So you want to not have this plaster. How do you avoid the plaster? You don't get a hole. What makes the hole? Two things. The hole is made by high blood pressure, and it's made by sugar, too much sugar in the blood. Sugar is like broken pieces of glass scraping this.
Yeah, I guess.
And the blood pressure is like a hammer, boom, boom. And as these holes form, you have to repair them. But if there are no holes, you don't have to repair anything. So your cholesterol doesn't even matter that much if you don't have any holes. That's why I tell people focus first on blood pressure. And your number, when it's elevated.
Now I think I have 15 with 10.
Yeah, well, 15 over 10,
I feel.
they're going to want to put you on a medication then.
Yes.
Have they given you medications already?
Yes, but this is a stress. In every night I slept at 5 p.m. a.m.
Why?
4. Because we had a show in the night, until I passed this moment, adrenaline, everything.
Getting
Accumulating the
home,
show, I need some 2-3 hours, it's very strange and I cannot use it.
I tell you, so many professional athletes play sports at night, right? So they have same thing, very energized, the game is over at midnight, they can't go to sleep till 3 or 4, and they all say the same thing. They develop tactics for sleeping 8 hours. You have to do the same thing, because the lack of sleep is the biggest untalked about problem in the world. And when you don't sleep, it automatically takes your blood pressure up. So you're going to burn like a candle very brightly as you are now, but briefly. Because you won't be as sharp in 10 years. Your brain will pay the price of not only the sleep deprivation, but also the high blood pressure. So I say, develop a tool, whatever it might be. Keep the room darker, go find a technique for relaxing after the shows earlier, something that gets you your 7 hours at least. Men actually need even more. Men are needier than women. Women can do a 7. You know this. Men are much needier. Men need 7.5 hours. And I am a surgeon. I still practice cardiac surgery at Columbia University. And I was taught as a surgeon not to sleep so that we could always operate. I know now that's a mistake. I always sleep every night. I do my shows in the daytime, so I'm done in time. But I get up very early to do my shows. I get to bed by 10.
Wow.
And the time you sleep before midnight is better than the time after midnight. So I try to get to sleep at 10 and I don't wake up till 6. And it makes you feel bright, alert, sharp, but also my blood pressure stays low. I don't crave food. The other thing, see, when you sleep, you're addressing 4 things. There are 4 cravings the body has: sleep, sex, food, and water. So you can talk about sex separately.
Yeah.
The sleep, if you don't get, you're going to crave food and water. And you don't go for water usually, you go for food.
Yeah.
So you gain weight, you have more cancer, you get more heart disease, more high blood pressure, you're not as good, you can't function at full speed, which is my big message. The reason I talk about health is if you can control your body in here, you can change the world outside of it. Think how powerful that is. And yet if you can't deal with those simple things, then you can't be the best you. You can't live the good life. That's the name of the presentation today, is the good life. And not about fast cars and girlfriends, it's about what matters. And what matters is that you go every day as hard and as fast as possible. If you're not sleeping, you can't make that happen.
But if you are getting home late and before going to bed you're gonna eat something, it's normal, like some little, yeah. And then you go to bed because it's late and you have to sleep because you have to wake up in the morning. This is okay?
See, I practice a technique where I try not to eat for 12 hours a day. You asked me about celebrities earlier.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is a good friend of mine. Wolverine.
Yeah.
So Hugh, in order to gain weight to become Wolverine, has to go on a very specific diet. And he exercises.
Yes,
He
exercise.
loses the weight very quickly. He goes from, 210, 120 pounds to maybe 180 pounds. Big switches. And he does it by not eating for 12 to 16 hours a day, he tells me. And so I started doing it, and I looked into the research, and there's a lot of data that people who can go at least 12 hours without eating a day, their hormones calm down, and they lose weight more comfortably. So I always tell people, eat dinner by 8, don't have breakfast until 8 a.m. So dinner by 8 p.m.,
2 hours.
12 hours until breakfast, which is at no earlier than 8 a.m. Most people, and you don't have to have breakfast, by the way. Just eat when you get hungry. So delay your morning, and then don't eat too late at night. And then without doing anything else differently, it'll make it much easier for you to go to the weight you want to be at.
But tell me, because you said earlier, is it true that if you have an increased sexual activity, it helps you lose weight?
Yes. There are 4 things again. If you have enough sleep and enough sex, you're not going to want food.
Enough sex.
Enough sex. Remember, say it again one more time.
Enough sex.
There she said.
Told us about this. How much?
Well, I'll give you a number.
Every
Yeah,
day?
please
Every
give us a
day?
number.
It's every day.
Every day?
That's perfect. Perfect, of course. Dr.
2 times per day?
Dr.
3
Mandina.
times?
So the numbers are interesting. They did studies looking at this. The average person has sex once a week. Just once a week. That's the average. If you can go to twice a week, you live about 3 years longer. And it's more fun too. And you can keep going, but more is better. There's no place where it stops. Especially when you get older, 1/4 of people over age 80 are having frequent sex. 1/4. So 1 in 4 people who are older are also, so there's no reason why we all can't do that. And it's so closely correlated with longevity, living longer.
No.
Yes, very closely. And the interesting one difference, men benefit from more sex. Women benefit from better sex. Orgasms.
Normal.
Yeah, normal. So it has to be better sex for the women. But it's vital, and we don't think it's important. And for relationships, it's so important that there be intimacy, that there connection. So I always tell the women, just on this one issue, give in to the men. Everything else you can win. Like, for example, the temperature of the room. Do you like the room cold or hot when you sleep?
Hot.
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 No. Normal, I don't know, 22 degrees.
22. All right, so that's more on the colder side.
Yeah.
So People are always fighting about the right temperature in the bed.
I broke up with two guys because of the
temperature.
in the room. Yes, we were fighting all the time. And so we broke up because of the heat in the room. I cannot sleep in cold. I cannot.
Yeah, but
She has snake blood.
but you will sleep better in cold. They were right. The boyfriends were right. And here's the thing: if you don't like the cold, put socks on.
Yes, all the time I have.
You do. You put socks on, then your body can get colder. You won't get so cold. And this is very personal, but it actually works. People around Romania should be in a cold room, 22 degrees at most.
22?
Yeah. That cold room, and if they don't like it, put socks on, put the blankets up, but you want to be cold, like a bear. You want to hibernate at night when you go to bed.
I will do that. I
You
will
talk
do that.
about beer, I don't know, so Orange asked something. It is true that if you drink beer, you can gain weight.
Yes, beer is an empty carbohydrate, and so is wine. So too much of it, you will gain weight. However, a little bit of alcohol is better for the heart. It relaxes the body, and you do it socially. Any alcohol. 90% of the benefits, the alcohol. What kind of alcohol, it's up to you. So last night, I had the very typical alcohol from Romania.
Palinka.
Yeah. And in a little
Suika, I hear that.
Suika.
Is not, Palinka is too strong.
No,
it's stronger than whiskey.
Oh, no, this is Suika.
Suika.
Yeah, maybe I drank too much. I'm forgetting the name. So, I had the Sarmalia with
So
Suika.
Suika is perfect.
Perfect combination.
Not Mitch, you don't know what is Mitch.
No, I didn't have much. I must not have had it.
It's like a kebab
I've done a kebab. See, if I'd gone with you, I would have had that. Instead,
No, come with me because I am eating a lot and I know much better where to take it.
It's so healthy.
back to the beer question. One drink of anything is good. Two, it's too many calories, plus you get disinhibited. Now, men can drink more than women because men have an extra
Yes, I know.
enzyme in the stomach. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows. He said it's pretty
I
good.
know too. I drink a lot of beer in the night because it's helping me to sleep.
Yes.
This is my.
Although alcohol is not the best tool for sleep. It's better to relax you, but not so much to make you sleepy.
But it's not better to drink alcohol than you took pills
Yes,
for
better.
sleeping.
Yeah, no, it's better to drink alcohol, but I tell you what I drink: tart cherry juice, vishne.
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 It's like our language, yeah.
Yeah, vishne. The vishne has melatonin in it.
Melatonin.
Which helps the brain.
Yeah, it's a hormone.
It's a hormone in the brain. So
Yeah.
take one shot of this vishne. So
It's amazing. I don't know.
With alcohol, like
No,
like
alcohol,
Not
Vishnata?
alcohol, just Vishne juice.
Vishne juice. It's tart cherry. In
yes,
English.
yes.
Turkish is vishne. My
Like
father
in
grew
Romania.
up. Yes,
We took from Turkish
Sorry.
people.
My father and his family were farmers. They grew these vishne trees. When I was a little boy,
Yes.
they were very
Yes.
tart to my tongue. But I learned now they have lots of melatonin, so just a little bit. You could add alcohol, but I don't. I just drink it
We have
straight.
it here. It's called Vishinata.
Vishinata.
Yes, it's alcohol
With
put in.
alcohol.
Is this Vishina put in alcohol?
It's a good idea, man.
It's
But it's sweet.
Andrea
Vishne
knows
is
all
sweet.
the secrets. She has
Yeah.
all the
She
secrets.
drank too much, yeah. But
I like traditional food and traditional alcohol things. Traditional things. So Vishnata is one of them. But tell me, what is the because we women we have this problem. What is the easiest way to lose weight after we give birth? The easiest.
Well, there's some things that naturally are done. Breastfeeding helps you lose weight. It takes tremendous energy to make the breast milk. And so I always tell women, breastfeed for as long as you can. Also, remember that it took you 9 months to gain the weight. It should take you 9 months to lose it as well. So don't rush to get it off. If you're doing foolish, crazy things, make you depressed. There's so much hormone risk after the baby. It's so difficult to deal with all the things, with the lack of sleep and everything, that it's difficult to lose weight. So I say take the first few months, it's okay. And then after that gets serious. And the most important, number one thing, sleep.
How?
Which is hard with the kids. You have to develop techniques. There's more and more. Today's paper has a big article on how critical it is to teach children to sleep. Even though it's hard because they'll cry. You don't want them crying in your blood. You want them in your arms. But they should not sleep in your bed, nor your pets, by the way. Only you should be in the bed.
in their bed. In their bed.
Yeah, they have to sleep in their bed. They'll cry in the beginning, but by 3 months or so, they should have a very clear sleeping pattern. And they'll get up in the middle of the night and need some milk, but it should be once or twice and then slowly less and less and less. So you go to bed when they go to bed, get up when they get up, and you'll get more than enough sleep. But you have to focus on that. If you're tired and stressed, you have to eat. It's not, you can't expect anything else of yourself.
Can you help to lose 10 kilos in a month and maintain it on a long term?
You can't lose 10 kilos in a month without getting an amputation. They take off your leg, you'll lose 10 kilos. But other than that...
That's a lot of sport, for example. You can lose.
Yeah, but if you look at the data on people who lose a lot of weight very quickly, they tend to gain it back pretty quickly. As fast as you lose it, you gain it again. You can lose 10 kilos.
Yes.
I think you can lose 10 kilos in 6 weeks, maybe 10 weeks in that region. Usually I tell people that a kilo a week is the most you should ever expect. You lose more in the beginning. The first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can lose a lot. You know, you could lose maybe 3 kilos the first week, mostly water. Mostly water. And then, you know, but then after that, not more than 1 kilo a week at most. So 10 kilos in a month is not physically possible unless you're doing something that's really drastic.
Do you consider that the stomach reduction surgery is 100% healthy, or it implies some risk on long term?
The stomach reduction surgery for obesity has risks, but it's one of the most underperformed operations in the world. We should be doing much more than we do. And I think we wait too long not realizing how powerful it could be. Let me give you an example. If you're 40 kilos overweight, you have the same, at age 50, you have the same chance of dying as if you have cancer. Would you have surgery for cancer? Of course. Even if there are risks, you have surgery for cancer. So since we're telling you that you have the same risk of dying as cancer, would you have surgery to cure the problem? You say yes. Now, yes, if you can do it yourself, it's much better. But there's better and better techniques now. There's the banding technique. There's the more limited stapling. There's a balloon that you can put in your stomach. I just covered it on my show. That balloon blows up, and then for 3 months you have no appetite. I would try those techniques. But don't give up if you're really heavy on using some surgical support, because it's very hard to keep the weight off afterwards.
Which are the first 2 things you need to do when you start the diet? The best things you can do?
First is to replace the food with another habit, whatever your habit might be. It might be tea or water, it might be a walk, it might be games, it might be sports. Just find a hobby that replaces food, because food was something you were doing, because oftentimes you were bored.
Yeah.
So you have to find that's a problem. Number 2, automate the kitchen. Everything in the kitchen should be healthy for you. You should have to work hard to find junk food. No soft drinks in the kitchen, no candies in the kitchen, only healthy foods. And third, you have to find an emotional reason why it matters. Much of what I say, the wisdom that I'm sharing, all doctors know. People have studied this material. What I try to do differently is to get people motivated to act on what I'm saying. So when you go on a diet, if I tell you to do the first 2 things, automate your kitchen so it's safer, so you don't make mistakes, and make sure you get some replacement activity for the food, you'll say, okay, but then what's the motivation to go ahead? And here's what I learned, not as a doctor, but as a television host. People do not change based on what they know. They change based on how they feel. If I can get you to feel differently about your body, you'll act differently towards it. So if you're trying to go on a diet, you have to have a feeling reason to do it, a love for your children, a health a problem that you're scared about. And then use that as your crutch every day, because late at night when you're staring at the ceiling and no one else is around and you feel that you want to eat something, that's what will keep you going. It's not the lecture about what to do.
Is it true, or is it is a myth that water combined with lemon or ginger help you lose weight?
It's true. I use water and lemon and ginger as the foundation of some of the diet plans that we support. Again, I don't sell anything. You know that. All the ads that are fake that they show my pictures on, these are all made-up ads. But I do talk about diets that make sense. And this is a free, simple idea. You get lemon water in the morning, first thing when you get up. It's an Ayurvedic technique from India. It's thousands of years old. It stimulates the gastric juices and the intestinal system. But more importantly, you're replacing coffee. So you're actually not turning your hormones on yet. The hormones get to slowly wake up. So over the first couple hours, you'll just have lemon water, and then you have your coffee at, let's say, 9 in the morning. So now you're ready to go. And now, by the way, you're starting to get tired, because in the morning when you first get up, I'm never tired. I shower, I'm late, I'm shaving, but 2 hours later I start to get a little tired. Then that's when you can have your coffee.
And then we can drink over the day this water?
Yeah, I
Again
drink
and
the
again
water
and
all day long. We make different water broths. Sometimes we add ginger, as you point out. We also make cleanses that people can drink. And whenever they feel like they want something in their mouth, go for your lemon water instead of going for the what you normally would go for, which is often something that you don't want to put in your body anyway.
So we have to sleep longer to have much more sex.
Yes,
we have to
she
drink
almost
water.
forgot. Already she almost forgot.
The job. to stay less at the job.
Yeah, quit the job.
Quit.
Good job. Sleep
See,
more.
more sex, no work, more holiday.
No
See
sugar.
how easy it was?
Oh my God.
Actually, out of all those
We have
things,
to talk with our managers.
the most important thing is to have purpose. It's to give your heart a reason to keep beating. If you have purpose, everything else becomes easy. And the reason you do those things, because you crave them, because you know you feel better when you do it. I always tell people, don't do things that are healthy. Do things you like doing that happen to be healthy. Sleeping fully feels good. Eating real food feels good. Dealing with the stress more effectively, it feels good. It makes my blood pressure come down. Having sex, it feels good. All these are things we should be doing anyway.
And no sugar. No, this is like
Sugar,
no.
the easy one. You cut out the white foods, white rice, white pasta, white flour, white sugar. Cut all the white foods out, you'll be a happy person.
Okay, it was a real pleasure
Can I
to.
brag about you guys for a second? I'm so impressed by the Romanian television programs I've seen, especially the soap operas, the scripted television
Oh
shows.
my God, yeah.
They are becoming popular all over the world. I see some of the Turkish soap operas because I'm Turkish.
Yes.
You know,
Bahar, Viața
Bahar,
Dragă,
Turkish serials
Furtuna
are
pe Bosfor.
amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sultan, there's some kids.
Suleiman.
Suleiman,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
they're unbelievable
Yes.
programs, and it speaks very highly of the tradition in this part of the world to tell stories.
One more question and a short answer, if it's possible.
Yes.
How part of your body likes you more?
What part of my body?
Yeah.
I think my ears. They're big. My family have big ears, but most of us don't listen well. But my ears, I actually listen to people. I don't always speak well. I don't always understand what I'm going to do perfectly, but I'm always passionate, and I love hearing people and what they're really feeling.
Listening.
And I learned that from my mother, not my father.
So your ears likes, you like your ear very much,
I
yeah?
like my ears.
Yeah, it's good.
What do you think?
It was a real pleasure to
Yes,
have you
honor was
on
mine.
this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so
Don't
much.
forget your lessons.
No.
Yes,
Listen to
we
that.
know very well.